Ready.
Thank you. All right, good morning. Today is December 23rd, 2015, and this is a special meeting of the members of the New York State Liquor Authority. In attendance is Chairman Bradley in Albany, Commissioner Kim in New York City, General Counsel Flug is in New York City, and myself, Acting Secretary Held. I'm in Albany. Today's calendar consists of one item. Counsel's office presented a proposed emergency summary order of suspension. It's been marked agenda number 2015-2836 for license serial number Monroe OP 3144081, issued to Rocco's Canal Side Pub Incorporated, located at 26 Clinton Street in the Village of Brockport. Associate Counsel Gallagher is presenting for Counsel's office. Counselor?
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman and Commissioner Kim. This matter is being brought before you today for the consideration of an emergency summary order of suspension on this license. Brockport Police reported to the authority a few days ago that they had received a complaint of minors being allowed to enter the premises after bribing bouncers at the door with $10. Following the receipt of the complaint, the Brockport Police organized and conducted an underage detail. They obtained 2 confidential informants, one of whom was 20 years of age and the other was 22. The underage agent was instructed to hand her New York State driver's license, her real license, with her true date of birth, and which was marked under 21 clearly, to the bouncer at the door with a folded $10 bill underneath it. The other undercover agent, who was 22, was standing with her and was instructed to watch the transaction. The undercover agent, who was 22, was instructed to just give her license without any money, and a plainclothes officer also watched the transaction from approximately 5 to 10 feet away. The parties proceeded to the premises, and the underage agent provided the bouncer with her underage New York State driver's license, her actual license, and the $10. The bouncer palmed the $10 and handed her back the license, allowing her access into the premises. It was confirmed that there was no cover charge that evening, and they were not having an 18 and overnight. The second undercover provided her New York State driver's license to the bouncer. He checked it and he let her in. No money was exchanged for the of-age undercover to enter. And the plainclothes officer, his identification was also checked without money being transacted. The plainclothes officer did observe the $10 bill palmed in the bouncer's left hand when he provided his own ID to the bouncer. The underage agent proceeded into the bar, where she ordered and was served 1 beer. She was not asked for identification by the bartender. Shortly after the detail was completed, the police went back to the premises and informed the parties involved what had occurred and that charges would be forthcoming. It should also be noted that the authority just issued a notice of pleading on December 2nd for availing regarding the interest of Michael Terragino in the premises. He's listed as a manager, not as a licensee in our records. And he's in fact not a manager. He is a corporate principal according to the sole licensee of record, and therefore subject to a different set of vetting laws, and this was not disclosed to the authority. So Michael Terragino was present on the night of the incident, and that's why I bring that up. After the detail was conducted, the availee, Michael Terragino, showed up at the offices of the Brockport Police and wanted to speak with the lieutenant and the chief regarding how much trouble he was in. A conversation took place in the chief's office, which was video recorded. The conversation was approximately 20 minutes in length. The probative part of the discussion occurred when the availee stated he had heard the bouncers were accepting bribes from underage kids. He stated he confronted them and that they denied it. He then stated that at that point he decided not to fire them, but rather offered to pay, and did pay them, an unspecified bonus to stop the activity. This shows his knowledge of the problem and a reckless disregard for the issue at hand. The actual licensee is, by his own admission, not involved in the day-to-day operation, and the availee has shown horrendous judgment in the face of criminal activity being conducted by his staff. I mean, bouncers have 2 primary duties: keep underage kids from entering the premises and maintain order so that the premises doesn't become disorderly. They're violating their primary duty, and instead of firing them, he offers them a reward. He gives them more money, bonus. Not good. So I think that raises the level of this action from more than just a mere sale to minor to a situation in which there's an imminent threat to the welfare of the inhabitants of the area because of the judgment of the individual who's actually running the establishment. And just as a further note, Brockport is a college town. SUNY Brockport is located in close proximity to the location.
Okay, thank you. And you did say you confirmed that it wasn't an 18 and overnight, that particular
The police, yes, the police indicate. I asked them that question, and they said if it was an 18 and overnight, we wouldn't have gone in there and done this, and they confirmed that it was not. So.
Okay. Chairman, do you have any questions?
Can you just go over, you mentioned the pending availing charge. Can you go over a little of their past history if they have any?
They do. They have, just bear with me for a moment. They have an existing availing charge that's pending. As I stated, it has not been adjudicated yet because we just issued the pleading on that mere days before we were advised of this problem. The premises was charged with a sale to minor on May 25th of 2012. They entered a conditional no contest plea, and the premises paid a $7,000 fine. The premises was charged with failure to conform to the Security Guard Act, 2 counts, on September 5th, 2010 and November 28th, 2011. They pled no contest to those 2 counts and paid a fine of $3,500. The premises was charged with sale to a visibly intoxicated person on April 30th, 2010, and purchased from an unauthorized source on June 4th, 2010. Additionally, under a separate pleading, the premises was charged with 1 count of purchase from an unauthorized source on March 3rd, 2010, and making a false material statement on January 20th, 2010. There was a package plea worked out in those cases, and they entered a charge, no contest, and paid a $5,000 fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I have nothing else.
So I think it's very clear from the pattern of behavior. In particular, the licensee had knowledge of what was going on with the bribes to the security guards to allow underage patrons in, and then compounded that with the bartenders just serving, in some cases obviously knowing that these patrons were also underage. They do have a history of a sale to minor, and I think given the pending availing charge, I think this is kind of a case that highlights what happens when a licensee allows someone else to avail of the license. You have issues of sales to minor, as well as reckless disregard of a variety of ABCL laws. So I vote to summarily suspend this license.
John?
I vote to summarily suspend as well. It's clear, not just from the bouncer's acts, but also from the statements of the availee, who I believe is the father of the licensee. Is that
Yes.
correct?
I believe that he is, yes.
That he clearly has absolutely no judgment, and there is clearly very, very poor supervision going on in this location. There's a complete disregard for particularly the underage drinking law, and as you mentioned, this is a college town, so I think someone that is operating in a town like this needs to pay particular attention to this, and it's obvious that they're not just based on this instance, but also the prior sale of minor in 2012, which if the radar wasn't going off prior to that sale in 2012, it certainly should have been going off after, and it's obvious that they're ignoring that. So I vote to summarily suspend as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nothing further.
Thank you.
Go have a good day.
Thank you.